So as we travel through the season of Advent, we're traveling, in a sense, with Mary. We're reflecting on her words, her life. We're reflecting on the mission that she has in her own heart to bring about Christ, the Messiah, here on earth. Now, we heard about the Annunciation, where Mary was encountered by the divine, by the angel Gabriel, and she was given this mission to care for and to raise a son, and this son would be Jesus. Now, for her, this mission would have been something that is actually very daunting, something that requires a lot of courage. You could imagine being encountered by the divine, and it's something that isn't something that happens on a day-to-day basis. But what's fascinating about Mary is that she embodied an incredible amount of courage, where she is willing to take up this task. And so whenever I reflect on Mary and the Annunciation and Mary in this season of Advent as we approach Christmas, is I see a woman of courage, a young woman of courage, who wants to do the will of God and who wants to embody the mission of God in this world. But she does it humbly, and she does it with a prayerful heart, and she does it with an incredible amount of courage. She's a witness of courage. She's a witness of somebody who wants to do God's will and can only do God's will with God's strength. And so we see that. And so we reflect on that this season of Advent. Now, for all of us, as we approach Christmas, we're approaching Christmas not so much because Christ is about to be born, right? Christ was born 2,000 years ago. But we prepare our hearts anew for Christ. We prepare our hearts this season of Advent anew so that we can encounter the divine today, so that we can encounter God today in 2020 in the midst of everything that is happening in this world, is that our hearts can be softened as we reflect on Mary and as we reflect on her mission, as we reflect on her courage. It takes a lot of courage to prepare our hearts. It takes a lot of courage to say yes whenever God asks us to do something, or whenever God invites us into something. It takes a lot of courage to be a Christian in our homes, in our families, in our workplaces. But I believe that this season of Advent, as we do reflect on Mary, is that we can receive encouragement. We can receive her courage that she had. While she was somebody who was given a calling that was daunting, that we can reflect on today, that we can receive some of her courage for our tasks, for our mission in this world today. And so this week, as we reflect on Mary, as we travel through Advent, let us reflect on the courage that a young woman had in bringing about the birth of the divine on this planet, bringing the good news of salvation to all because of her yes, because she was willing and able to, with the strength of God, to carry this out. A courageous figure, a courageous saint.
Benedictus